Have you been scrolling online lately? Because you've probably come across a number that sounds like a total joke, but it's not. We're talking about car payments, and the numbers are just getting wild. Yeah, people are just casually throwing out numbers like $1,500 a month for their car. I mean, that's what you'd expect for a mortgage, right? And they often say it with a laugh, like it's no big deal. But here's the scary part. It is very, very real.
So how on earth did this become normal? That's the big question, right? And that's exactly what we're going to dive into. We're going to break down how these insane payments went from being totally outrageous to a viral trend, and what that normalization is quietly costing every single one of us.
All right, first up, the new normal payment. And look, this isn't just about a few crazy videos. We're witnessing a massive cultural shift in how we even define the word affordable.
You know the clips I'm talking about, right? An interviewer walks up to someone and just asks, "Hey, how much is your car payment?" And the answers are just mind-blowing. $800, $1,500, even $2,000. But the craziest part? The tone. It's so casual. There's no stress, no regret, just a shrug like, yeah, that's what it costs. It's as if these astronomical numbers are just the new price of admission for owning a car.
Okay, so who's actually making these videos? Well, when you start to dig a little deeper, a really interesting pattern starts to emerge. It turns out a lot of these clips are actually produced or sponsored by, you guessed it, car dealerships. And from a marketing perspective, it is absolutely brilliant. Think about it. The more you see a $1,500 payment treated like it's totally normal, the less shocking it feels when a salesperson slides that number across the desk to you. It's a super clever and honestly really effective way of conditioning us. And this whole process, it actually has a name. It's called normalization. It's when a really extreme idea or number becomes so familiar that our natural resistance to it just fades away. What would have been completely unthinkable, say, 10 years ago, now barely makes us blink. And this isn't just some funny internet. No, the real-world data backs this up completely. The average new car payment in the US has now climbed to around $750 a month. And get this, the loan terms are stretching out to almost 6 years on average. And the scale of this is just staggering. Look at this data from Edmunds. It shows that 1 in 5 new car buyers, 1 in 5, now has a monthly payment over $1,000. Let that sink in for a second. That is a massive chunk of the car buying market. So this all leads to a really important question. How did our whole idea of affordability get so completely twisted? Here it is. This is the fundamental change in thinking. We've gone from asking, can I afford this car, to just asking, can I make this payment? Now that might seem like a tiny little change in wording, but it has enormous consequences, because focusing only on the monthly number is a clever way to hide the true total cost. Because when you're only looking at that monthly payment, it's so easy to forget what you're really giving up. And it's way more than just money. We're talking about your financial freedom, your peace of mind, and yeah, your future goals. I mean, think about it like this. When you have this giant fixed payment locked in every single month, your ability to make other choices just shrinks. Suddenly, taking a risk on a new career or starting that side business you've been dreaming of, it all feels impossible. Why? Because you're chained to that payment. You feel stuck. And that feeling, it creates this constant low-level anxiety. You're living life with zero financial margin. So any small surprise, like a leaky faucet or needing to take a sick day, becomes a huge problem. And before you know it, you're not planning for the future anymore. You're just putting out fires, reacting to problems, instead of intentionally building the life you want. Want a really startling way to look at this? If you drive for just 1 hour a day, a $1,000 car payment is basically like paying over $30 an hour just for the privilege of sitting in your car. And that's before you even factor in gas and insurance. $30 an hour for your commute. Wow. So let's talk about opportunity cost. Let's say the difference between a luxury car payment and a more modest one is about $650 a month. Well, that adds up to almost $8,000 a year. To put that into perspective for you, that is more than the maximum you can contribute to a Roth IRA in a year, one of the absolute best tools out there for building long-term wealth. Now, this isn't about telling you not to have nice things. Of course not. It's about making sure you understand the full weight of your financial decisions before you lock yourself in. So instead of asking, can I make the payment? Let's flip the script.
The real question you should be asking yourself is this: what does this payment make impossible? This one question changes everything. It reframes the whole decision from a simple math problem to a real look at your life, your goals, and your freedom. What doors are you closing by saying yes to this payment?
Because that money, that could be your ticket to retiring early. It could be the money that pays off your house, giving you a sense of security a car never, ever will. It's the cash reserve that lets you say yes to exciting opportunities and, just as importantly, no to stressful situations. Every single dollar you tie up in an asset that's losing value is a dollar you can't use to build a more secure future for yourself. And that really is the ultimate trade-off, isn't it? The thrill of a new car is awesome, I get it, but it's temporary. It fades. But the security and the peace of mind that come for having financial freedom, that only grows over time. That's the real prize. So before you sign on that dotted line, just ask yourself, what are you really buying and what are you giving up to get it?